I'm gonna show you how I went from this
to this.
So forgive me for my messy living room. I'm changing it around, finally giving this room some attention, but this is the room we're gonna put the board in. And right now we have it face down because we want to put our fibers inside these holes. So I have 1,300 different fibers. There's 2 separate strands of this because I have 2 inputs on the box there. But the first step is to not completely take the wrapper off, but you want to feed just a little bit through and then start at the far end of your board and make your way back. The reason why you want to do this, you may have an instinct to take the wrapper off of the strands, but do not do that because it gets very tangled and mixed up very quickly. Leave it in the packaging and only pull out as much as you need to feed it through the hole, but leave them kind of tidied up so you can keep yourself organized. Start from one end of the board and make your way back. We're gonna do that 1,300 times. Now after that, you wanna feed the cable all the way through, like pretty far, because you're gonna wanna glue them next. So after you've fed your fibers through each hole, you glue them in from the top so that they can't come back out. Once all the glue has settled, which I'm gonna use a hot glue gun so it'll dry pretty quick, you go from underneath and you snip off all of the fibers, not completely low, but just about flush to the board so that they still illuminate, but you can't see the strings hanging down from the board. So that's what we're going to do. It's gonna take me forever to do this. I've done this before in my car. I know what to expect. It's not a fun process, but nonetheless, it has to be done. This is the box that I'll be using here. It's dual outputs. As you guys saw, there's 2 separate strands because I can control each fiber individually or do a meteor effect or whatever. It does have a remote, but you can use an app with this. And then there's 2 different ways to control this or to power it. If you were using a car, you have a cigarette lighter. If you're inside the house, which I am, you have a household outlet that I'll be running up into my attic and into a power source. So I got some work to do. I'll see you when it's done. All right, so it's 1:30 at night. I've been doing this since 7 o'clock with a few breaks, and I haven't even done half the board. This takes forever, but you guys can kind of see the effect. This is the top side of the board. This is me putting holes through the top and then stringing them through, and then at the bottom they're coming under, so you guys can see that they're hanging, and then you snip them underneath after you glue them, so you can see the spots that you've done, because once you glue them, they glow from the top. But underneath it, you have to go and cut them. And I'll swing you to the other side here because I have cut a few just so you guys can see what they look like on the board there. So they twinkle and do all sorts of stuff. So I have a lot of work to do, but I just know based off of doing this in my car that this is well worth it at the end of it. 1,300 pieces to do by yourself is a strain on your back. My back is hurting, so I'm calling it quits for the night. But you guys will see this all done in the next clip. Doing this project is easy, but it is very tedious. It's bad on your back, but you get something like this when you're done. This is the finished project, not on the ceiling yet, but this is the top side of it. You guys can see all the web here, 1,300 different pieces put into the board. And then I've already cut underneath it what it looks like under there. So there is the Starlights, and they're just kind of glimmering blue at the moment. But it is finally done. I'll walk you this way. This is the power box that supplies the light to the fibers, goes all the way through. And this will be inside the ceiling into a power source, so you won't even be able to see where it's getting its power from. But this is the lights. Honestly, the top looks really cool like this too. I'm gonna turn the light on for you guys because it's actually a mess on the top side, but this has to be done. So this is what it actually looks like, a whole bunch of web just everywhere. So I'm just happy to be done. The hardest part about this is putting the strings through, and gluing it is simple. You just go with the super glue or the heat glue, hot glue gun. And the cutting is really easy. You just use fingernail clippers and cut underneath it. It's super fast. The hardest part is standing here and feeding the fibers through the holes, but we finally have done that. So what I'm gonna do with the home theater, I know it's dark because it is 2 in the morning right now. So I have 3 recessed lights. That light's gonna come out, and there's obviously a hole there. I'll feed the fibers through as well as the power, and then the panel will be in front of that light, so it'll cover that hole, and then these two lights will still be visible, so I'll still have some sort of light in the room. So I'm going to go ahead and get that light down, get in the attic, feed my wire through, and we can hang up our new Starlight. Alright guys, a 2.5 day project finally done. Literally just screwed in the last screw, and I'm going to show you the lights in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah. 1,300 piece lighting up in the ceiling. I like it. It's really cool. It's a cool aesthetic. It looks really neat. It's not a hard project whatsoever, but it is a tedious one. But I like it a lot. And it is app controlled here, so I can change whatever color. We can change it to, let's say, red. I can do two-tone. So how I have them, they have two separate lights, so I can change the middle section to whatever. I can change it to see yellow. I can change it to this light blue color. I can change it to purple. I don't know if you guys can see all this. Here's green. So I can switch them, or I can control them all together. So I can make the whole thing blue. I can make the whole thing yellow, or I can make the outside's green, and or whatever. So it's really cool, all controlled by this little app here. I'm gonna turn it back all to one color, but not a hard project, not too expensive. It was about $280 or so for the lighting kit. It was maybe 10-12 bucks for the plywood, and then I already had a hot glue gun and everything. I'll turn the lights on so you guys can see. I already had a hot glue gun and everything already in. So not a very expensive project, all things considered, but very tough if you're going to do it by yourself. Like I said, I took the middle light out and fished through my fibers into the attic. So if I walk you guys up here, which the lights are off in the attic, but you'll see that my LEDs are sitting right there. So it's being fished into the attic from above, and that's where the power is coming from as well. So I don't have to worry about hiding that. It's all hidden inside the attic. So cool project. It's definitely worth it. I like it enough to keep it painted to match the ceiling. It's just a cool little fun aesthetic, adds some character and, you know, some personality to the room. So let me know what you guys think about Starlights in home theaters. A lot of people do it. Should I have made mine bigger? Should I have made mine smaller? What do you guys think about this? Leave me a comment down below. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and we will see you in the next theater. I mean the next video. Kepe Sky out. Peace.